I had a customer give me grief because I wouldn't let him use his Home Depot gift card at my liquor store. Yeah, I can't make this up. The phrase "the customer is always right" is a lie that has been told to people in small business and in retail in general throughout history. It is a disingenuous form of saying that the customer is always right in matters of taste, which is the true statement, but it's gotten shortened and used incorrectly. And we've been taught to think that we're supposed to tolerate disrespect, manipulation, and just energy drain from customers, all in the name of a few dollars. I'm here to tell you that that is not true, and I'm here to tell you how to establish boundaries to protect your business and your peace of mind. So let's get started. And just to give you guys a brief background of who I am and my expertise, my name is Ashik. You can call me Ashik. I've owned this liquor store for a year and 7 months now. Prior to that, I had several client-facing roles in supply chain, consulting, and IT. I made a video in the past about how to deal with rude customers, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper in segment one part. Not all customers who are toxic are rude. Some of them are actually very friendly until you stop doing things their way. I had this one customer who would occasionally be short like a few cents or a few bucks, and I would let it slide, to be nice because he was a regular and all that. But then, I realized if you give them an inch, they will take a mile in some cases. And in his case, that was absolutely the case, because it started off with letting a few bucks slide to him not wanting to pay for something and wanting to pay me later because he didn't have the funds. I do not operate on informal credit, right? Which is a valid boundary for me as a business owner. And he didn't like that. So then he tried to give me a Home Depot gift card and use it as collateral. He's like, if I don't come back tomorrow and pay you the money I owe, you can keep this $200 gift card. I have no way of knowing if that gift card is valid or not, right? And I also don't want to accept it because it puts me in a very uncomfortable situation. I don't want to use anything like that. I don't want to do anything other than cash or credit. And I shouldn't have to explain why. He kept pushing, and I was busy that day that he started pushing. We had a tasting going on. We had a lot of customers in the store, and I've already gotten to the point where I see this guy, I just get annoyed as soon as I see him walking up to the front door. Like, my mood just immediately plummets. And I already know he's about to ask me something because he's holding something in his hand. One time he tried to trade me a belt sander for some store credit, and I was just like, I don't have use for a belt sander, and also no. So he's like, Sheik, and he motions me to go speak to him in private. And me and my cousin are already very busy. It's just two of us in the busiest time of our day, busiest time of our week, actually. And so he's just like, hey, so I have this. He's doing the Home Depot credit card pitch one more time, or sorry, gift card pitch one more time. And I'm just like, I'm gonna have to say no. I've explained this very many times. I feel like I shouldn't have to keep repeating myself. Like, it's nothing personal. That's just not the way our store operates. And he got mad. So he ends up paying with his debit card, which is something that he did not want to do. He's buying several of these 99s, by the way. And hi, how's it going? Basically, he just didn't want his wife to know that he was buying stuff at the liquor store, and that's why he didn't want to use his card. So he had the money. He just didn't have cash. And so I said no, and he's like, well, my wife's going to yell at me when I get home. And I'm just, in my mind, I'm just like, that's not my problem. And I'm telling him, well, I hope she doesn't. He goes, I'm just telling you she is. And I'm like, okay. And then he starts saying, well, X name store across town, they usually help me out and stuff. And I'm just like, okay. And he's like, maybe I'll take my business somewhere else where people actually appreciate me and understand me. And he's trying to hold over my head that he spends $1,000 a month in my store, mainly buying these 99s. Occasionally he gets beer and cigarettes. And whether he's actually spending that amount of money in my liquor store or not, he's taking goods in exchange for his money, right? It's not just doing me a favor. I'm the store he goes to because I'm closest to his house. He's admitted that many times. But he's also like saying that I've never helped him out, or making it seem like I'm not helping him out this one time. But I've helped him out many times before, where I've let him slide when he was short. I've let him put his business cards to promote his business on my counter. I didn't have to do that, and that led to him actually gaining some jobs. I've let him slide with a lot of stuff. But when I finally put my foot down, that's when he got mad and wanted to take his business elsewhere. He was trying to make me look like I was the bad guy, trying to make me feel bad for like standing up for myself. And I was like, you know what? You got to do what you got to do. In my mind, I was ready to cuss him out. I was ready to like let him know how I actually thought of him. But I'm just like, I'm in my place of business. I have a lot of customers. We have tasting going on. This guy is about to remove himself from my life, so I'm okay with it. Not even 24 hours later, this happened at 5 p.m. He was back in my store at 3 p.m. the next day after he told me he was going to take his business elsewhere. And as soon as I see him come in, he's like, hey, buddy, like nothing was wrong. And I'm just looking at him like, and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry about yesterday. And I told him calmly, like very calmly, I was just like, you really ticked me off yesterday. And if that happens again, I'm going to have to ask you to start shopping somewhere else. I still maintain my professionalism. And I told him, like, if you don't have enough for something, you don't have enough for something. I'm only taking cash and credit. If you don't like it, you're welcome to shop elsewhere. If you're pouting, if you're giving us more trouble than you're worth, we are going to ban you from the store. And he understood that. And I forgot to even mention, during this whole exchange where he was throwing a tantrum, he brought his new dog with him. His dog urinated on my floor, but I didn't notice that until after he left. One of my customers pointed that out, and we noticed a puddle, realized it wasn't water. We looked at the security camera and realized it was the dog that he had with his leash. And he had told me beforehand that he had recently got his dog. The dog was a puppy. It was still very young, still very well trained. I do allow dogs in my store just because I want to be convenient to people, but you know, most people bring their dogs who are well trained, allowed to be in public. If your dog can't handle being around other people, then I can't bring it in here. Service dogs are obviously okay. And so he's like, my dog would never do that. And I'm showing him security footage, and he's like, see, my dog squats when she goes to the bathroom. And I'm just like, wait for the video to play. And I was getting frustrated with him because he's already getting defensive. He's like, okay, I'm sorry, because he sees the puddle forming under the dog, who is then squatting 2 seconds after he started protesting my accusation. And I'm just like, just maybe don't bring your dog in until it's properly trained. I understand that it's a puppy. So already 2 things, and he acted like I was the bad guy for bringing this up. But anyway, so I've told him what his boundaries are now, and if he crosses them, he's going to have to shop elsewhere. But that's not enough. After you communicate that to your toxic customer, so you need to make sure your entire workforce, your entire staff knows about what you're doing, right? Make sure you communicated this boundary and this customer's incident to the rest of the staff, because a lot of toxic customers think that the rules only apply when you're in the store, and they might try to manipulate other employees the same way. In my case, my business is run by me, my mom, and my cousin, and we alternate shifts working here usually, right? So if I'm not here, he might take it as an advantage to be like, oh, well, his mom doesn't know that he told me I can't do this anymore, and he might try that with her. Not that my mom would do something like that anyways, but still, it's going to put her in an uncomfortable situation where she has to go through what I went through with him. Now that he's aware that everyone that works here knows that, he can't do that. He knows one more strike, regardless if it's me, my cousin, or my mom working here, he's out the door. He's going to find another place to shop. He's going to have to go to a place across town, the place that he was threatening me to go to anyways, because apparently they help him out, which I know is not true. I cannot stress the importance of maintaining professionalism throughout this. I wanted to match his energy. Like deep down, I wanted to like start pouting and yelling and using profanity the same way that he was. But I knew I needed to maintain my composure because I'm at work and this is also my business. So I need to look dignified, look presentable, look professional, right? I cannot match the level of a guy that can't afford 99s. So I just, stayed composed. And when he said he was going to take his business elsewhere, I just said, do what you got to do. Have a nice day. And he left, right? I never raised my voice at him. I did voice that he made me upset, but I said that calmly. Always maintain your composure, because you do not want them to go play the victim, which he was already trying to do. Just remember, when you're working in a customer service capacity, you are there to serve the customer, but you are not there to let them walk over you. You are not there to be a target for any mistreatment. So you are more than allowed to stand your ground, and any respectable workplace, any respectable manager will back you up as long as you do it the right way. As long as you do it professionally, with courtesy, and with dignity, you will be fine. Now, whether you or your business decide to ban that customer or to allow him on a thinner ice, that doesn't matter. If you're going to allow that customer to remain until you finally can't handle them anymore and ban them finally, just keep it purely transactional. Don't make any small talk. Don't be like, hey, how are you, man? How's your day going? Just be like, will that be all? Do you need a bag? Need a receipt? That's about it, right? You don't want to shoot the breeze with them because they're going to try to rebuild whatever they had with you previously so that they can try it again. Something just happened, and I'm glad it happened because I need to include it in the video as well. Do not let them try to make their way back in. Do not let them try to like love bomb you, give you an olive branch or whatever. He actually came in today and was trying to offer me his wife's homemade cookies, and I'm just like, no, I'm good. I do not want to accept anything from him because I feel like he's going to try to use that to leverage an obligation from me. So I'm keeping things strictly transactional, and that's the rule that he's going to have to follow. We're not his buddies. Thank you for watching my video. If you like what you heard, if you found it helpful, please hit that subscribe button. I also have a video on dealing with rude customers as a whole, and I also have a video on how to keep customers returning. If you're not into business ownership or retail, I also have tips on how to grow as a content creator, including how to get your first 10,000 followers on TikTok or how to get your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you all for your time. You have a great day.